The message traveled across the stars like a quiet cry in a dark and endless night. It passed nebula clouds, frozen worlds, and lonely moons before finally reaching a small blue planet where people lived in noise, color, and constant motion. The message came from the Hilari Union, a group of peaceful worlds that had never known real war, and it carried only one request. They asked for heroes. The Hilari were known for their gentle nature. Their worlds were full of soft forests, calm oceans, and bright cities that looked as if they were made from glass and light. For centuries, they had lived without conflict. They welcomed visitors, shared knowledge, and believed that kindness was the best force in the galaxy. But the galaxy was large, and not every species agreed with that peaceful way. The Cracks' dominion was a name whispered with fear. The Cracks destroyed planets that resisted them. They raised young soldiers from birth. Their ships were sharp and dark, built only for war. When the Cracks invaded Hilari territory, the Hilari Union knew they could not defend themselves. They tried to talk, negotiate, offer peace, and share resources. But the Cracks did not listen. For the Cracks, peace was weakness. Mercy was failure. They wanted new territory, and they planned to take it. The Hilari finally sent a plea to the galaxy. They hoped for noble warriors, maybe the armored guardians of the Vega clans or the brave shield-bearers of the Harmon fleet. They imagined shining armor, proud speeches, and warriors who fit the stories told to children. Instead, their message reached Earth. Humanity had long been known as a dangerous species. Other civilizations called Earth a death world because everything on it tried to survive in extreme ways. The animals were fast, the storms were strong, the environments were harsh, and humans grew up fighting through all of it. Most aliens avoided humans, believing they were too unpredictable and too strong for comfort. But Earth had changed in recent years. Their leaders wanted peace. They wanted to show the galaxy that humanity could be more than their reputation. When the message reached Earth, the Earth Council held a long meeting. Some argued that it was not humanity's problem. Others said that helping the Hilari could prove that humans were not the monsters of legend. After hours of debate, they agreed to send a small but skilled team. The team was led by Commander Lucas Hale, a man who had spent half his life in space. He was calm, quiet, and carried a look in his eyes that made people straighten their backs when he entered a room. Megan Price, the tactical officer, was known for her sharp thinking and ability to stay steady under pressure. Aaron Brooks, the engineer, was brilliant and always trying to build things that others believed impossible. Lily Carter, the medic, moved with gentle hands but had the strength to face disasters without fear. As their ship approached the Hilari capital world, the Hilari watched with wide eyes. Their communication screens showed the human ship, which looked nothing like the graceful ships of other peaceful species. It was built with thick metal plates and heavy engines, more like a hunter than a messenger of peace. Its dark color made it look like it had flown through storms and refused to break. When the humans stepped out, the Hilari almost stepped back. Lucas had a scar across his cheek, the kind of mark that came from a battle he no longer wished to remember. Megan stood beside him with a firm expression, always observing her surroundings. Aaron carried tools and devices that hummed with quiet energy, and Lily held a medical case but walked like someone ready to run into danger, not away from it. The Hilari leader, Sorel, tried to smile, but her voice trembled when she greeted them. She had expected shining heroes, not these strange, strong, silent figures who looked like they had fought storms and survived. Lucas bowed his head in a polite way. He spoke softly, without pride. He said that Earth received their call and came as fast as they could. Sorel looked at him with confusion. She asked why humanity had sent warriors who looked like they belonged on battlefields, not in stories of honor. She tried to explain that they asked for heroes to bring hope, not fear. Megan stepped forward with a calm and steady tone. She said that humans did not think of themselves as heroes. She said that humans knew how to fight because they had to survive on a world where every day was a challenge. She told Sorel that humans did not shine like knights in old tales. They stood their ground. They protected the weak. They pushed forward even when the world tried to break them. Sorel listened. But she still felt uneasy. She wondered if she had made a mistake calling Earth. She wondered if the humans were too harsh for her peaceful people. But the cracks were coming, and she had no other allies. The other empires were either too far away or too afraid to fight the cracks' dominion. The Hilari had no choice. They had to trust the humans. Lucas asked to see the state of their defenses. He studied their maps, their ships, their weapons. Aaron checked their shield systems and shook his head softly. Human systems were far more durable, but he knew the Hilari had never prepared for war. Lily checked their medical centers and saw fear everywhere. Hilari doctors were skilled healers, but had never treated battlefield injuries. The Hilari soldiers watched the humans with nervous eyes. They whispered among themselves, wondering if inviting Earth had been the right choice. Some had heard legends of humans surviving poisonous planets, climbing impossible mountains, and fighting predators twice their size. Those stories did not make the humans look gentle. They made them look like monsters that even the galaxy feared. When the first Cracks ships appeared in the sky, the Hilari panic rose like a wave. Their fleet rushed to defend their planet, but the Cracks moved with cold precision. The Hilari were not ready. Their ships were fast but lightly built. Their weapons were meant for warnings, not destruction. Within minutes, the Cracks broke their formation. Lucas ordered the human ship into action. The human ship moved differently from the Hilari ships. It was quick but steady, like a predator circling its prey. Human weapons struck with precise timing. Megan directed the attacks with calm commands. Aaron released small drones that flew ahead, scanning enemy movements and adapting instantly. Lily stayed near the injured, guiding Hilari medics through treatments they had never seen before. The Hilari watched with disbelief. The humans did not panic, did not shout, did not freeze. They moved with purpose, as if they had done this many times before. When human weapons hit Cracks ships, the strikes were clean and controlled. They did not waste energy. They did not aim to impress. They aimed to win. Sorel realized something important. The humans were not shining heroes. They were not soft-spoken diplomats or poetic warriors. They were something else entirely. They were shaped by hardship. They had learned to fight for survival. They had learned to move through fear instead of around it. When Lucas spoke again, his voice was gentle, almost strange for someone who fought like he did. He told Sorel that humans did not come to frighten the Hilari. They came because they knew what it meant to face a powerful enemy without help. They came because Earth remembered what it felt like to be alone. After the first battle, the Cracks ships retreated, only to gather again for a larger attack. The Hilari cheered when the Cracks left the sky. But the humans stayed serious. Lucas explained that Cracks battles rarely ended after one retreat. The Cracks always returned stronger. The Hilari saw how the humans immediately prepared for the next fight. They practiced, repaired, studied, and checked every detail. The Hilari saw the humans talk softly to each other, encouraging each other without raising their voices. They were hard on themselves but gentle with others. Slowly, the fear the Hilari felt began to change. They started to see the humans not as monsters, but as survivors who had learned to face danger with steady hearts. They began to understand that the humans came not to bring fear, but to bring strength. Still, Sorel wondered what the next battle would bring. She wondered if the Hilari could stand beside humans. She wondered if the galaxy had sent them exactly what they needed, even if it was not what they expected. As the Cracks prepared their second attack in the darkness of space, the humans stood ready. They did not call themselves heroes. They did not claim glory. They prepared to fight because someone needed them, and for the first time, the Hilari began to believe that maybe they had not brought monsters into their world. Maybe they had brought the only protectors who could stand against the Cracks' dominion. The second attack came faster than anyone expected. The Cracks' fleet returned with more ships, bigger weapons, and soldiers who had trained to fight only to kill. Their black vessels moved like shadows, dark and silent against the stars. The Hilari watched from their city windows as the sky filled with ships that could crush entire planets. Panic returned in a wave, stronger than the first time. Lucas stood on the deck of the human ship, scanning the incoming fleet. His eyes were calm, but inside he felt the weight of responsibility. Megan was beside him, checking the tactical systems, her fingers moving over the controls as if she were part of the ship itself. Aaron adjusted the drones, making small changes to their programming. Lily checked the medical bay, making sure everything was ready to treat any kind of injury. The Hilari fleet tried to organize again, but the humans could see their hesitation. The Hilari ships moved too slowly, their formations unsteady. The Cracks noticed it too and began firing. Explosions lit the sky, and smoke clouds drifted across space. It was chaos, and the Hilari had never seen real war. Lucas gave his first order. Human ships moved into formation. They were fast, precise, and perfectly coordinated. Drones flew ahead like tiny predators, scanning enemy ships, calculating movements, and attacking weak points. Megan directed every move, her voice calm and clear. She did not shout. She did not panic. The Hilari watched in awe. They had never seen strategy so simple and effective. The first human strike hit a Cracks battleship. A quiet, controlled explosion ripped through its armor. The ship did not scream or burn as the Hilari imagined. It collapsed, its crew thrown into space, their weapons silent. The Cracks commander could not understand how a few ships could destroy one of his massive vessels so quickly. Aaron deployed more drones. They moved in patterns the Hilari could not predict, striking from above, below, and the sides. Every Crack ship that fired was met with perfect timing, and every human attack was precise. The Hilari realized that humans had learned not just to survive but to fight in ways they had never imagined. Lily moved among the wounded Hilari soldiers. She healed cuts, treated burns, and whispered encouragement. Her hands were gentle, but her presence gave the Hilari courage. They began to fight harder, inspired not by orders but by the humans beside them. Slowly, they moved from fear to action. The Cracks noticed the change. They had expected the Hilari to crumble completely, but now the small ships were moving with purpose. They saw humans leading the fight and realized that these were not ordinary warriors. They were not polite diplomats or fragile knights. They were deathworlders, shaped by harsh worlds, fearless and relentless. Lucas ordered a coordinated strike at the center of the Cracks formation. Human ships moved like shadows, weaving between enemy fire, hitting targets the Cracks had not even noticed. Megan predicted their movements, and Aaron's drones followed with perfect timing. The Hilari ships began to follow, learning the humans' patterns. They could see bravery for the first time. The Cracks commander grew angry. He could not understand why the humans were not afraid. They did not panic under fire. They did not retreat. They moved forward, striking with calm precision. When a Cracks cruiser tried to flank them, Lucas anticipated the move. He sent a small group of ships, including some Hilari fighters, to intercept. The attack succeeded. The Cracks ship was destroyed. On the ground, Hilari civilians watched the sky in fear. Buildings shook as some ships exploded nearby. But Lily's medics moved among the injured and frightened, showing calm courage. She whispered to children, telling them to stay close and be brave. She healed those who were hurt, and even those too young to understand felt the strength in her presence. As the battle continued, the Hilari began to learn from the humans. They saw how Lucas did not rush blindly, how Megan always kept the larger plan in mind, how Aaron's machines worked with deadly efficiency, and how Lily's care gave hope. The Hilari started following human strategies, moving faster and fighting smarter. The Cracks were surprised. They had expected easy victories. Aaron's drones became the turning point. Each one could adapt to enemy attacks in seconds. If a Crack ship fired a new weapon, the drone calculated the path and countered it immediately. If a ship tried to escape, drones cut off the path. The Crack ships began to fall apart, one after another, their own strength used against them. Lucas led a boarding team onto one of the larger Cracks ships. Megan and 2 other humans went with him. They moved silently, neutralizing soldiers and sabotaging weapons. The Cracks inside were strong, but humans were trained for situations like this. They struck efficiently, never wasting energy or time. Within minutes, the ship was under their control. and the Cracks commander sent a signal to retreat. The Cracks fled the area, leaving their ships damaged and their soldiers demoralized. The Hilari were amazed. They had expected to lose everything. But the humans had turned the battle in minutes. The Hilari realized that what they called monsters were in fact saviors. The humans did not look like heroes from stories, but they fought in ways that no legend could describe. Sorel gathered the Hilari leaders after the battle. She said that she had been wrong to fear the humans. She admitted that she had believed their appearance meant danger. Now, she could see that humans were different. They did not fight for glory. They fought to protect. They did not want power. They wanted to survive and help others survive. Lucas spoke to Sorel privately. He told her that humans never expected thanks or praise. They fought because it was necessary, because someone had to stand against the darkness. He explained that the Cracks were not the only danger. There would be other threats, and humanity had learned to be ready for them. The Hilari, however, had never been in real danger before. Their fear was natural. But now they had a chance to learn. Megan worked with Hilari officers to train them for the next attack. They moved troops, reinforced defenses, and learned to use their weapons more effectively. The humans did not take over. They guided, they showed. Not command. Slowly, the Hilari became stronger. They began to believe in their own abilities. Inspired by the humans' courage, Lily organized the medical teams, teaching the Hilari how to treat battlefield injuries faster. She encouraged them to stay calm under fire and to focus on saving lives. She showed them that bravery was not only about fighting but about protecting others, about keeping hope alive even when the world seemed dark. Aaron worked tirelessly to improve the drones. Each drone was designed to think like a human soldier, to anticipate attacks and adapt instantly. The Hilari watched in awe as technology and strategy combined. They had never seen such efficiency. Slowly, they began to trust that humans could face the Cracks and win. The Hilari citizens started helping too. They carried supplies, repaired damaged ships, and provided support to medical teams. They learned courage from the humans. Even children helped in small ways, carrying messages or supplies, inspired by the calm determination they saw. The Cracks returned again, larger and angrier. They wanted revenge. They did not expect humans to be so well prepared. Nor did they expect the Hilari to fight with skill. The second major battle began. Human ships led the charge, and Hilari ships followed. The Cracks were met with a coordinated attack that destroyed several of their capital ships. Lucas personally led a strike team to target the largest enemy vessel. Megan coordinated the other ships to support them. Aaron's drones disabled the enemy shields. Lily treated any injured soldiers, human or Hilari, without pause. Every move was calculated, precise, and deadly. The Cracks realized that the human strength was not only in their weapons, but in their minds, their planning, and their courage. The Hilari finally saw that humans were more than survivors. They were teachers, guides, and protectors. They were different from anything the galaxy had ever known. They did not fit the idea of heroes, but they were what the Hilari needed the most. By the end of the battle, the Cracks were defeated, their fleet shattered. The Hilari had survived against overwhelming odds. They had not only survived but learned how to fight, how to protect, and how to believe in their own strength. Lucas, Megan, Aaron, and Lily gathered with the Hilari leaders. They did not boast. They did not demand thanks. They only reminded the Hilari that war was not over, that vigilance and preparation were necessary, and that survival meant learning from the strong. The Hilari understood for the first time that humans were what the galaxy called monsters. But in truth, they were guardians, shaped by harsh worlds to protect others when no one else could. The Hilari people no longer trembled when humans walked among them. They began to understand that appearances could be deceiving. Fear was not always danger, and kindness could come from the most unexpected places. The second attack had shown them the truth. The humans from Earth were not heroes in stories. They were something far more powerful. They were survivors, protectors, and teachers, all at once. And now, the Hilari were ready to stand with them, to learn, and to face whatever darkness the galaxy sent next. The cracks had not given up. Even after 2 defeats, they were not willing to retreat for long. From the dark edges of space, they returned with an even larger fleet, more powerful ships, and soldiers trained to kill without hesitation. This time, they believed they would finish what they had started. The Hilari world, though stronger than before, still seemed fragile under the shadow of so many war machines. Lucas stood on the bridge of the human command ship, looking at the approaching fleet. His eyes were calm but alert. Megan studied the tactical map, her mind moving faster than the blinking lights on the screens. Aaron adjusted the drones and the weapon systems, making sure everything worked perfectly. Lily prepared medical teams and supply lines, her hands steady, her mind focused on the people she would save. Sorel, the Hilari leader, walked beside the humans. She looked at the sky and then at the humans with a mixture of fear and hope. "Can we really survive this?" she asked quietly. Lucas looked at her and said, "We will not let them take your world. You will fight beside us. You have learned courage, and that makes a difference." The Cracks fleet moved closer. Their weapons glowed with a deadly red light. The Hilari ships trembled under the anticipation of battle. But the humans did not flinch. They moved into position, ready for a fight they had faced many times before. The first shots were fired, and the sky exploded with fire. The Hilari panicked at first, but the humans' calm presence gave them strength. Megan's commands were clear and precise. "Split left, cover the drones, fire on their shields, keep moving." The Hilari followed, moving with determination instead of fear. Aaron's drones moved like shadows through the battlefield. They dodged enemy fire, attacked weak points, and protected Hilari ships when they were exposed. The drones seemed alive, almost thinking on their own. Hilari soldiers watched in awe as humans and machines worked together like one living force. On the ground, Lily and her medics moved through the cities and bases, treating the injured. She spoke to the Hilari civilians and soldiers with calm encouragement. "Stay close to the walls, keep moving, help each other. We will get through this together." People who had been frozen in fear began to act. They carried supplies, repaired damaged systems, and helped wounded friends. Lucas led a strike team to intercept a group of Cracks ships attempting to break through defenses. Megan coordinated support from the main fleet. The Hilari joined them, moving in formations the humans had taught them. The Cracks were surprised. They had not expected the Hilari to fight so well. They had expected easy victories. But now the Hilari were a force to be reckoned with. Aaron activated a new set of drones with advanced programming. They moved in perfect synchronization, disabling enemy weapons and shields. A Cracks ship that had fired on the Hilari fleet moments ago was now destroyed within seconds. The Hilari could hardly believe what they were seeing. Humanity's machines and strategies had changed the battle completely. Lily worked tirelessly in the field hospitals, treating soldiers of both species. She whispered to injured Hilari, "You will live. You are brave. Keep moving." Her care inspired everyone around her. The Hilari realized that humans did not only fight with weapons but also with compassion. This was something they had never understood before. The battle raged for hours. Explosions lit the sky, and debris floated through space. Yet, the humans remained calm and precise. Lucas moved among the ships like a silent leader, giving commands that were always correct. Megan anticipated enemy attacks and redirected forces. Aaron's drones disabled Cracks weapons faster than the enemy could repair them. Lily ensured that no one died unnecessarily. Slowly, the Cracks fleet began to falter. Their attacks became uncoordinated. Their soldiers panicked when faced with humans who did not fear them. The Cracks had never met beings who could fight so calmly under pressure, who moved with intelligence, patience, and relentless strength. They began to retreat from smaller battles, only to face humans in larger groups who struck from multiple angles. Sorel watched from the command tower, amazed at the courage of her people. Hilari soldiers who had once trembled at the sight of Cracks ships now moved confidently. They had learned from the humans. They had seen bravery in action and realized that courage was not about strength alone. It was about standing when the world tried to push you down, about protecting others even when you were afraid. Lucas decided to take a risk. He sent a team, including Megan, to board the largest Cracks flagship. Their mission was dangerous, but necessary. If they could disable the flagship, the Cracks fleet would lose coordination and likely retreat. The team moved silently through space, using small stealth ships that the Hilari had never imagined. The boarding was tense. The Cracks inside were strong and trained to fight to the death. But the humans moved with efficiency and precision. Lucas struck with calculated force, never wasting a move. Megan anticipated enemy actions and blocked their attacks. Every step was planned, every strike purposeful. The Cracks could not stop them. Within minutes, the flagship was under human control. The Cracks commander on the flagship tried to negotiate. He demanded to know who humans were and why they fought like monsters. Lucas looked at him calmly and said, "We are what the galaxy made us. We learn to survive. We fight to protect. That is all you need to know." The Cracks commander had no words. He realized that humans were not like any other species he had faced. They were not just fighters. They were survivors, teachers, and guardians. With the flagship captured, the Cracks fleet began to collapse. Ships fled in all directions. Those that tried to fight were destroyed by drones or human ships. The Hilari moved alongside humans, fighting bravely. They had learned to act without fear, to follow strategies, and to protect their world. By the time the battle ended, the Cracks were defeated completely. The Hilari celebrated, but the humans did not. Lucas and his team stood quietly, checking that all Hilari were safe and that the fleet was secure. Megan made sure no enemy ships remained a threat. Aaron repaired drones and systems damaged in the fight. Lily treated the last of the wounded. They had won, but they did not see it as a victory for themselves. It was survival, and survival demanded vigilance. Sorel gathered the Hilari leaders to thank the humans. She spoke with tears in her eyes. "We asked for heroes, and we feared what we received. But now we understand. You are not heroes. You are far greater. You are protectors, survivors, and guides. You have taught us courage, and for that, we are forever grateful." Lucas nodded. "We did not come to show power. We came because someone had to protect your world. That is all humans ever do. We survive, and we protect. That is our way." The Hilari listened carefully. They realized that the humans who looked like monsters were the truest friends they could have. The Hilari citizens began to understand the humans too. Children ran to the humans, calling them protectors. Adults asked questions about their ways, wanting to learn how to fight, how to survive, how to be brave. Humans shared knowledge patiently. They did not demand respect or gratitude. They only acted with quiet strength, showing what it meant to protect others in the face of impossible odds. The Hilari people began to change. They repaired their cities faster, trained their soldiers, and learned to defend themselves. They learned not only how to survive, but how to act when fear tried to paralyze them. The humans had shown them that survival and courage were not about strength alone, but about intelligence, patience, and protecting those who could not protect themselves. Lucas, Megan, Aaron, and Lily prepared to leave. Their mission was done. The Hilari were safe, stronger, and more confident. Sorel and the other leaders tried to thank them properly, but Lucas shook his head. "We do not need thanks. You will survive now, and that is enough." Megan smiled softly. "The galaxy may call us monsters, but the truth is that we fight so others can live. That is all that matters." As the human ship lifted off, the Hilari watched with admiration. They had called for heroes and feared what they received. But what had come was far better. The humans from Earth were not just fighters, they were teachers, guides, and protectors. They were shaped by harsh worlds to face danger without fear, and to show others how to do the same. Sorel looked at the departing ship and felt a deep gratitude. The Hilari Union had survived because humans had come. They had learned courage, strategy, and protection from beings the galaxy had long feared. The Krax Dominion would remember this lesson. The Hilari would remember it too. Humans were not heroes in stories, they were something far greater. And as the stars returned to calm, the Hilari sent a new message across space. It was no longer a call for help, it was an invitation. They invited Earth to join the Hilari Union as partners, not feared outsiders. They wanted humans to teach, guide, and protect, as they had done in the past battles. Lucas received the message quietly. He nodded to his team. We will go. We will help. That is what we do. Megan, Aaron, and Lily prepared their ship for the journey. They did not see it as glory or fame. They saw it as another mission, to help, to survive, and to protect. The Hilari had learned that humans were not heroes, they were something else entirely. They were the monsters the galaxy feared, but the monsters who would fight for life, for hope, and for those who could not fight themselves. And the galaxy would never forget them.